Black Panther: Wakanda Forever opens today in theaters nationwide. The sequel to the movie Black Panther confronts the death of the main character, King T'Challa, played by the late actor Chadwick Boseman. Mr. Boseman lost his 4-year battle with colon cancer in 2020. His death at the age of 43 shocked and saddened his many fans, and it also called attention to the rising incidence of colorectal cancer in younger people and how African Americans are at greater risk. The new film is another opportunity to continue the conversation about colon cancer awareness. Joining me now is Dr. Stephen Lee Kong, Chief of Colon and Rectal Surgery at Hackensack University Medical Center. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Doctor, what was your reaction to Chadwick Boseman's passing? I know you were a big fan.
As everyone was, I was actually deeply saddened and unaware that he was struggling with colon cancer, even through the filming of the 4 films he made for Marvel.
Now, we know you can't speak to the specifics of Mr. Boseman's case, but what typically happens when younger people get colon cancer, and what age should you begin screening?
So for most patients who are asymptomatic, screening begins at age 45. That was recently reduced from age 50. Symptoms can include abdominal pain, bleeding per rectum with bowel movements, change in bowel habits. But unfortunately, a lot of patients actually have no symptoms when they're diagnosed, which is why it's so important for patients to get screened.
And what factors contribute to the higher rate of colon cancer for African Americans?
It's not totally understood, but we think that there are some genetic factors that may be at play. It could be diet, access to preventative health care and screening and so forth. So it's multifactorial.
And this is one of those diseases that can be embarrassing to some people. How do we overcome that discomfort to talk more about it?
I think bringing these topics to more conversations with families and with your healthcare providers, and being more open about changing your bowel habits and symptoms.
And the screening process is also scary for some. What would you say to someone hesitant to get a colonoscopy?
You know, you have that conversation with your family, have that conversation with your practitioners. For patients that are really terrified about having an actual virtual, real colonoscopy, there are alternatives. There's a virtual colonoscopy, which essentially is a CAT scan that is very good at detecting colon cancers and advanced polyps. There's also a newer test called Cologuard, which is a home-based stools test, where you send a stool sample into a lab and you get a report several weeks later, which is either positive or negative, and that's actually very sensitive for colon cancer. Any of those 2 other tests, whether the CT scan or the Cologuard, if those are positive, usually means you should have a real colonoscopy anyway.
That's great. They have those other alternatives now. I mean, I just have to say personally, I've had colonoscopies for years, and it's so much. I mean, there's no pain, there's nothing. I mean, you just go to sleep and you wake up and it's done.
Yeah, I actually turned 45 a month ago, and one of the first things I did was schedule my colonoscopy. So I had mine, my first colonoscopy 2 weeks ago, and again, I was, I schedule patients for colonoscopies all the time, and the prep wasn't that bad. I was asleep and awake by the time I realized it, so it was not a bad experience at all.
Exactly, and when you talk about prep, you're talking about like the stuff you have to drink the night before to kind of clear everything out. Is there any progress there as far as it tasting better or anything like that?
I wish. There are a number of commercially available bowel preparations that you can use. That some of them aren't the 4 gallons that a lot of people are used to as the original prep back in the day, but nowadays the preps aren't as bad. I wish I could invent something that was better tasting and not as voluminous, but it's certainly not as a huge ordeal for most people.
No, not at all. It's just drinking something that doesn't taste the best. But all right, what about prevention? What can everyone do to protect themselves from getting colon cancer?
I think first and foremost is have the discussion with family members, have the discussion with your doctors about getting screened. I see a lot of patients in my office who don't even realize don't know what their family history is, and family history is one of the big indicators of whether or not screening should be done earlier. Healthy lifestyle, exercise, healthy diet are all very helpful in to prevent colon cancer.
And colon cancer is one of those diseases that if you catch it early, it makes such a difference.
Absolutely right. I think, earlier screening, you can find small polyps before they turn into larger problems. You can find cancers earlier with adequate and appropriate screening. And so instead of waiting till you've got more advanced disease, catching these lesions earlier in their disease course clearly improves survival.
Okay, such important information. Dr. Stephen Lee Kong, Chief of Colon and Rectal Surgery at Hackensack University Medical Center. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.